Hello and welcome to the second part of my trip to Iceland and the Faroe Islands. And the fifth day we started with a small stop at a waterfall. I took the opportunity to make some video recordings and take some pictures, and then we continued with our trip across the island. We went to a different waterfall where we did a small hike, and on this day we had to look out after the time since our ship left in the evening. While hiking up the mountain, we always had the opportunity to deviate from the given path, and this gave us some really nice views. After our small hike, we continued our tour to a tourist center. In the tourist center, we had the opportunity to buy some small gifts and also had a really nice view into the valley. After our stop at the tourist information, we visited the oldest forest in Iceland. There they explained us a little bit about the history of the woods in Iceland and how they are trying to plant new forests all around the island. We also stopped at some horses where we were able to pet them. We had to change our plans a little bit for today since one road was still blocked because of heavy snow, so we decided to drive to a different fjord, which was really beautiful, and you can see the road to the fjord already looked really beautiful. As you can see, the fjord was really beautiful. We also had really nice temperatures, around 15 degrees Celsius, I believe, at the time. On our way back to our ship, we also drove past a few reindeers, which I learned had been brought to Iceland 100 years ago, or maybe a little bit earlier, for hunting purposes. And since then they live on Iceland. That was the information which I didn't knew. It was really nice to learn something, and I was one of the only people which was able to see them, since They were standing on the side of the road near a village where we drove past, so we only had a small window to see them. We arrived 2 to 3 hours before departure at the Norröna, which gave me the opportunity to walk around the village of Seydisfjordur, where I spotted a seal in the middle of a pond, which was really cute to look at. Shortly after we departed from Iceland, we were also able to see some whales swimming in the water next to the Norröna. Sadly, we only saw them for a minute. On the 6th day of our trip, we arrived back at the Faroe Islands, where we again drove in between the islands to get to our target destination, Tórshavn. On the Faroe Islands, we visited the oldest church of the country. According to local legends, the church was built in the year 1111, but according to scientists, it was built after that, somewhere around the year 1300. Right next to the oldest church of the country is a cathedral, which is the reason for the only civil war which happened on the Faroe Islands, since some of the islanders didn't want to pay for it, since they weren't able to reach the cathedral often enough. The people from the main island wanted the cathedral to be built, and that's the reason why there was a civil war there. But here you can see a few more recordings from the view from near the churches, and it was really beautiful there. After our small trip, we went back to Tórshavn. Here you can see the Norröna in the harbor. This is the first time you can really see the size of the Norröna. And in Tórshavn we did a small trip around the city, where they showed us some of the most important historic sites. They also explained to us a little bit about the history of the colored houses. We also went to the historic city, where you aren't supposed to take pictures of the houses or film into the houses, since people still live in them. This house is an exception since it's part of a club. And here you can see the smallest parliament of the world. It's not the big building in the back, it's the small white building in the front, just behind the fence. And again, as everywhere else on the Faroe Islands, there were some sheep. And here you can see the flag of the Faroe Islands. This is a very special place, because on these rocks back in the days, the leaders of the Faroe Island met and had political discussions. In the evening, the hot tubs were repaired again on the Norröna, just in time for the departure. Here you can see the national soccer stadium of the Faroe Islands, where all the international games are played. Here you can see the bar, where I spent most of my evenings on the Norröna. The 7th day of our trip again was a pure ocean day, so we saw basically nothing else than the sea. Special about this day is that it was the only day where we hadn't had that good of a weather on our complete trip, but I spent most of the day walking around the ship or watching a movie. Since the Norröna also has a cinema, this was the perfect opportunity to use it. Here you can see again that we had a little bit of rough ocean. Waves were up to 3 or 4 meters high, so about the same size than on our first days. On the evening of the 7th day we had a special dinner. It was called a Viking dinner, where they had a little bit more seafood, also some things like sheephead or this huge fish. I actually don't know what type of fish this was, but this dinner wasn't the best for my vegetarian friend who traveled with me, since most of the food was fish or meat. We also received this cup, which now is sitting behind me in a display cabinet. I spent the last evening of our cruise again in the hot tub, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a long time since part 1, but I hope I'm now able to upload more regularly on this channel, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you. Bye bye.